Today on Made in SA, we're in Pretoria with bookworm Gemma. Her dream is to add to the World Library and become a successful author.
My dream is to be a successfully published author.
Working with words sounds magical, but Gemma already knows that writing takes some serious effort.
If you want to become a successful writer, you need to have a lot of self-discipline.
Lots of work and some surprises in store for Gemma as her words on paper become real. This is how we roll. We celebrate young people of excellence and give them a kickstart on the ride to chasing their dreams.
My name is Gemma. I'm 18 years old and I live in Pretoria, South Africa. I describe myself as a hard worker. I definitely work hard at school and everything I do. I'm definitely a people person. I care a lot about people and I'm very empathetic and sympathetic. So that is one of my good qualities. I really do care about other people. And I think I've got a good sense of humor. I think it's more like that kind of sense of humor they have in Friends where everything's witty. And I'm down to earth. I genuinely care about other people and the world in which we live. My dream is to be a successfully published author. And when I turned 16 was when I started writing my manuscript for my book, which is entitled Gemma's Gems. And pretty much after I finished the manuscript, maybe 5-6 months into being 16, I was like, okay, I really want to get this published. I just felt it inside of me. And I think that's when I really knew I want to be a published author. But I knew I wanted to start writing since I was like 3 or 4 years old. I love playing golf. As you can see behind me, there are a lot of the trophies I earned when I was little playing golf. Also love playing tennis a lot. I play the piano. I love going running with my mom and my sister. And sort of just in general, I love collecting book series, collecting my favorite TV shows on DVD. So that's just like a collector thing I like doing. My mom is definitely one of my favorite people in the world. I feel like I can talk to her about anything, and I feel like we've got a Gilmore Girl mom relationship. Like, I feel like my mom and I are almost best friends, but she's very good at still being my mom and having authority over me, but we can still chat very well. I think that's where they got the yin and yang from, so you can see, but it's also...
My name is Mab. I'm Gemma's mom. Gemma, since she was very young, has been an incredible child. I've always loved her a lot. She has a lot of empathy and sympathy for people. I think my favorite story about Gemma is when I started off at the bar as an advocate. It was really tough. They didn't accept women. She was about 2. And I came home and I felt so bad about a case that I'd lost that I locked myself into the bathroom and was crying there. And a little girl of 2 came to console me. I'll never forget that.
I'm Lulu Kulu. I've known Gemma for 19 years and I'm her sister and friend.
My name is Natalie. I met Gemma on orientation day for Cornwall College. I've known her since grade 4 and yeah, we've been friends I think for 9 years.
She's an amazing person. She's very energetic. She's very selfless, enthusiastic, and a people's person.
The way I know Gemma, she's extremely talkative, but I love that about her. She's energetic, she's full of life, she's loving. She's just that type of person that has like life in her. She's really a nice person.
I wouldn't say it's flaws, but she does get too attached to certain things. I think that's one of a flaw, you could say, what I have experienced with her.
No, I haven't really seen a flaw with Gemma. So I don't really know really.
She does get a bit too talkative. It can be a good and a bad thing at the same time.
I don't see anything that irritates me about it.
What I really love about Gemma is her enthusiasm, her love for people, and her patience.
One thing I really love about Gemma is the fact that she's so enthusiastic about her work and her writing and her interest in sport and her dedication towards school. I also really like the fact that she tries hard on everything and she's just a very friendly person in general. I honestly think that her dream, she will make it because she has so much dedication towards what she does. And yeah, she has the talent for it, definitely.
I've known Gemma when she was a little girl. Her dream of being a writer is not just a talent, it's something that she was born with. She's got great writing skills. She's got a great imagination. So I think she will do very well. If she just keeps on going and believing in herself and does what she does best, which is writing, she'll get there.
I also believe that she'll get there because she's a very hard worker. And if she looks towards something, she will, for example, if she wants to live her dreams, she'll definitely get there.
I've always written, but the catalyst for me starting to write my book at 16 was the fact that I was very sick with glandular fever. And I was stuck in bed for months on end, and it was very difficult for me, and I felt the only way I could get through it was if I felt lonely, I'd write a chapter about loneliness, and if I felt scared, I'd write a chapter about courage, and it was the only thing that kept me going whilst I was sick. So it really started as something for me to help myself to get through that tough time.
I think her dream of becoming a writer is already basically a reality. She's always been writing stories. She started when she was about 3. I would go and buy all the good books that the BBC listed as the best children's books, and my older daughter would never read it. And I actually went out and I bought a book for parents who love reading with children who don't. And then along came Gemma, and she loved reading, and she read every single book, I think, before she was 7 years old.
I think when you follow your dream, it makes you very happy, and it's very important to sort of have passion in life. And if you follow your dream, you're very passionate, and that's one problem people have. They do work that they don't like, and they're grumpy at work, and they have a bad attitude. But if you love what you're doing, then you're always going to be happy. And there's a quote I like, and it says, if you do what you love, you never work another day in your life. And I think just for your own internal happiness, to feel like you don't have regrets when you grow up, it's important to follow your dreams. Subjects which you need to become a writer with are English, that's very important. Well, I guess whatever language you want to write in. If you want to write in Afrikaans or Spanish or French, you've got to be fluent and be able to write well in the language of your choice. English literature, because you get inspiration from other writers, you learn a lot about literary tools and devices, and that's very useful for your own writing. Any other subject that you find interesting is worth your while when trying to write, because at the end of the day, writing is about what you're interested in and your passions. If you love science, you can write a sci-fi novel. If you love history, you can write a historical, romantic novel. So whatever subject you find interesting would be useful.
I see her reaching her dream very easily. I do believe that, because she has never stopped writing. She's been writing stories, and she's been winning prizes in literary competitions since she was about 5-6 years old.
Hey Gemma, we love you and we believe in you.
You can get through anything, and you're a really hard worker, and I believe that you can get this and you'll achieve your dream. Go for it.
After the break, Gemma puts her creativity and wit to the test when she meets her coach. Fiona Snickers is a former journalist and has 3 successful books under her belt. She'll guide Gemma and help her flex her writing muscles. Welcome back to Made in SA, the show that gives the stage to Mzansi's most promising youngsters. Gemma dreams of churning out some well-loved stories. It's time to meet her coach.
My name is Fiona Snickers, and I'm a writer. I write full-time. If you want to become a successful writer, you need to have a lot of self-discipline, because you're not getting feedback all the time. And also, very often there's no specific deadline. So you've got to motivate yourself to sit down every day and write a certain number of words. Another thing that you need to have is a good command of the English language, so all the basics need to be in place. I love the fact that I'm my own boss, that I'm not answerable to anybody, that I can set my own hours. I think it's a great job for a person who's comfortable being alone for long periods of time. You need a lot of solitude, you need to be alone with your own thoughts to put a book together. So if that's the kind of thing you enjoy, then it's a profession for you. I think the biggest misconception about being a writer is that we are all like J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. incredibly successful, get paid a huge amount of money, your book gets turned into a Hollywood movie, your life is glamorous and wonderful. The truth is that for the regular author who just does it as the thing that they do, it's a struggle. So it's not all glitz and glamour and success and money. It's a hard slog.
I'm a little bit nervous to meet my coach today. It's the first time I'll be meeting her, and I'm excited to meet her, but a little bit nervous about that. I'm expecting is very experienced in this field, and that's always nerve-wracking because they've got lots of experience. I'm brand new to this industry, and it'll be very interesting just to get her opinion, and also to know, I guess, what she thinks of my work or how I'm doing. That's also like a judgment aspect to today. What I hope to achieve from today is getting a contact in the industry, which will be really good, and I also just hope to get advice to help me be a better writer, and I think that's always invaluable experience that you get. I believe in nothing ventured, nothing gained, so even if today goes horribly, I would have still have learned and taken something from today.
Hello. Hi, Gemma, I'm Fiona.
Oh, that's very nice to meet you, Fiona.
Nice to meet you. Come sit down. So Gemma, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into writing? Is writing what you want to do for your career? That kind of thing.
Well, I always loved writing when I was little. I started writing my own Nancy Drew stories because I was obsessed with her, and I wrote my own mysteries, and I still have them on my computer actually. And when I was 16, I got sick with glandular fever, but for my case, I was sick for months on end. And when I was sick, all I could do was write. So my book kind of evolved into a self-help book at that point in time, because when I got scared, I wrote like, how do I cope with being scared? Or if I was worried about school, I wrote how to cope with worry, and that kind of evolved like that. And I just love writing ever since, and I've entered some writing competitions, English Olympiad, and all kinds of things like that.
And where do you think your heart lies more, in fiction or in the sort of self-help arena?
But I love the idea of combining non-fiction with fiction, like historical novels, or especially when books give a really strong message, even though it's a fictional book and not just like a story. I think that's very important to me.
Is self-help something that you want to pursue at all? Are you going to do something with your Gemma's Gems, which I've seen an extract of?
I feel like I've got lots of different interests, and I think why I like self-help a lot is I feel like it's a very good genre in the sense that people really want help. They don't know what they're going on with their lives, and I've always been fascinated by people, and the heart of any good story is a person, how they evolve. So definitely a mix of everything.
Okay, Gemma, this is the challenge I have for you today. I've read through 2 of your short stories and also some of your self-help book, and I've noticed that the one thing you steer away from is writing dialogue. So I'd like to challenge you to practice your writing of dialogue. Without dialogue, a story becomes somehow slightly static. It's like looking into a picture frame rather than looking at a movie. So I want you to introduce that movie element by creating dialogue. I think the one we're going to work with is What Are Little Girls Made Of? What I want you to do is to reframe some of the reported speech that you have here. Grandma always says this, Grandma always says that, and have Grandma actually saying in direct speech what she says to your main character, who's Nandi, and in response what Nandi says back to her.
After the break, Gemma will face her weakness head-on, and her coach has a surprise up her sleeve. Welcome back to Made in SA, the show that rolls with Mzansi's future hotshots. Today we turn the page to Gemma and her dream of becoming a published writer. She's written since she was 3 years old and is totally devoted to her craft. But her coach has spotted a weakness, Gemma's reservations around writing dialogue. Now her challenge is to breathe new life into her manuscript. Can she pull it off?
Let's go and get started. Let's get what we need. I think Gemma is very dedicated to what she wants to do. The fact that at such a young age she has already produced so many stories, that she's produced a book-length self-help book already, which she's going to self-publish, that tells me that she has the dedication and the concentration that it takes to be a writer. So far, I think she's got what it takes. So So basically what we were taught at school is not exactly what works for professional writing. But often one wants to break up dialogue. You don't just want it to be an exchange of words between people. That will work for a while, but if you have a long scene of dialogue, that's not going to work for the whole scene, just people talking one after the other. And if you have more than 2 characters talking, it can get confusing. So something that works well is to insert a little bit of action in. For example, I would never do that. Lauren turned away and fiddled with her hair. I'm not that kind of girl. So you don't have anything along the lines of she said or she murmured or anything like that, but you do have a clear idea of who's speaking. It's Lauren who said that. And you also now have a bit of a movie rolling in your head because you can imagine Lauren turning away from the person she's speaking to and fiddling with her hair, which might be a good way to indicate that she's slightly uncomfortable or awkward with the conversation or something like that. So there are various tricks that don't involve the excessive use of adjectives and adverbs or any form of modifier and don't involve a whole bunch of synonyms for the word said.
Okay.
So if you are happy with everything that I've said so far, then I think it's time to get cracking. I think you must start writing.
Okay.
I noticed in reading all the samples of her work that I had access to that she tends to steer away from dialogue. So it seemed to me that that was possibly something that is a weakness in her writing, something that she steers away from. So I thought it would be a good challenge for her to tackle it head on and become perfect at it. So how are you doing, Gemma?
Well, I'm done and I feel very good about the improvements I've made. Your advice helped a lot.
Okay, that's great. Now what we need to do is get this typed up on computer. We need an electronic version of it because this is not the end of your challenge. What we're going to do now is send your dialogue to some professional actors who are going to act it out for us so we can see how it actually stands up as dialogue between 2 people performing your characters. And then we'll know whether what you've done has been successful or not.
Oh, a lot of pressure now. Okay.
So let's go to the computer and get typing.
Okay.
I think that having people perform her words will let her know whether they are actually working in real life or not. She'll be able to see 2 actors saying her words to each other, and that will really bring it home to her whether her dialogue is natural, believable, dramatic enough, appropriate for the situation, because there you're seeing it in the flesh.
It's going really well. I think the challenge is really cool. I didn't expect anything like this challenge, and I definitely have to say that I like the advice I got about the dialogue. I mean, it's very important if you want to write a novel, which I do want to do in the future, and I think I don't necessarily shy away from it, but I don't do it enough, and I think I've definitely got enough practice with that today. I'm very happy that professionals will be performing my piece, What Little Girls Are Made Of, and I'm very excited. I don't think it'll go badly. I think, well, A, there are professionals, and B, I like the improvements I made to my story, so I think it'll go well.
Gemma, let's go.
Grandma gets storybooks for free at the charity shop. I read in one of them that little girls are made of sugar and spice and all things nice. Maybe this is true. Grandma would look over my shoulder and glance at my storybook.
Oh, Ganyam, you are just like a little apple. You're fresh and chock-a-block full of good things, like vitamins, and your bright laugh.
Grandma always buys apples and places them in the red bowl. Each apple is surrounded by apple friends. We gave some apples to our friends. The remaining apples are not lonely because she buys new apples. My daddy and mommy work somewhere far away to earn money.
But Nandi, They will always come home. Your life is like a bowl of red apples, always full and never empty.
Like the apples that are never lonely because they have their apple friends. But Grandma, you always say that your special ingredient is love. And then if you don't love the food that you're cooking, you can't cook good food for the family you love.
You use the word love quite a lot.
Grandma looked a bit annoyed. Well, I love the word love. I was trying to say, I'm made of your meals which are mixed with love. Grandma just smiled. Hi.
I'm Fiona.
Michelle, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you are?
Gemma.
Gemma. Hi,
Yes.
Gemma.
Hi, Gemma. Shailene.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you. Hi.
Why don't you guys take a seat and then we'll...
As Gemma's coach, I'm interested to know from you two who acted out these two roles, 8-year-old Nandi and the grandma. Did the lines read naturally to you? Do you think she did a good job creating the dialogue? Was it age appropriate for the two characters? Did it flow well?
Yes, I think it did actually. I loved the innocence in the writing and the simplicity of it. And I think you can put more into it, but if the simplicity of the words is there and everything, it got a little bit wordy at times, like with the red bowl of apples and the apples, and it's always full of it. So there was a little bit too many words, I would say, theatrically, just to be able to give it the interpretation that it needed. But there was also beauty in the descriptive words that you used, that you actually don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Because the innocence comes through in that.
As always for stage, it's better to show than to talk.
My first impression of Gemma was that she is a very high energy person. She speaks very fast. She's got a huge amount of bubbling energy inside her. And it's surprising to me that a person like that has the discipline to sit down and write. And we set her this challenge, and we set her quite a short period of time to complete it in. And she did it, and she really knocked it out of the park. She did a good job. She integrated the dialogue seamlessly into the story. So she has that ability to concentrate and also that ability to produce writing to a deadline, which is something that as a writer you very often have to do. I think that was a very valuable exercise, especially for something that Michelle said, which was that in stage acting it's all about showing and not telling. And to some extent that's true in novels as well. As a first-time novel writer, one's always worried about, is your meaning getting across? Is every nuance getting to the reader? And you tend to over-tell what's going on. And it's good to dial that back a bit and show through the characters' behavior what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and so on.
I loved the day. It was really awesome. My favorite part of the day was seeing my words acted out by actors on stage. I didn't expect that at all, and I found that really, really cool. It was challenging because I did feel it was just sort of thrown upon me and I had to quickly do it. And I guess when I write at home, I can write at any pace that I want to write. But I felt supported by Fiona. I felt that I could ask her for help, and I had her encouragement and advice, and that got me through the challenge.
Move over, Harry Potter. Gemma's on her way.